Hello! Today we're going to break down the air brake system for your California CDL. Air brakes are one of the most important systems you'll ever operate, and understanding how and why they work is what separates a safe driver from a dangerous one. Let's get you fully prepared. What is the purpose of air brakes on a commercial vehicle? To use compressed air pressure to apply the brakes, providing reliable stopping power for heavy vehicles. Hydraulic brakes would fail under the weight and repeated use of large CMVs. Air systems provide consistent force and built-in safety backups. Let's continue. What drives the air compressor on most CMVs? The vehicle engine via belt or gear connection. As long as the engine runs, the compressor can maintain air pressure. No engine means no new air, and eventually no brakes. Next question. What is the governor cutoff pressure in a typical air brake system? Around 125 psi, where the compressor stops pumping. This prevents overpressurizing the system. Too much pressure could damage components or cause failure. Let's move on. What is the governor cut-in pressure? Around 100 psi, where the compressor resumes pumping. This keeps the system within a safe operating range. The system constantly cycles between these limits. Continuing. What is the normal operating range for an air brake system? 100 to 125 psi. This is the safe and functional pressure window. Always confirm your gauges are within this range before moving. Next point. What does the air pressure gauge show the driver? The pressure level in the air tanks at all times. This is your primary indicator of brake system health. Never drive without monitoring it. Let's continue. At what pressure does the low air warning activate? 60 psi. This is a critical safety warning threshold. Below this level, braking ability is compromised. Next question. What form can the low air warning take? A buzzer, light, or flag? It is designed to get your attention immediately. You must respond without delay. Continuing. What should a driver do when the low air warning activates while moving? Exit the road safely and stop immediately. Driving in these conditions risks total brake failure. This is a stop-now situation. Next point. What happens to spring brakes when air pressure drops below roughly 20 to 45 psi? They apply automatically, stopping the vehicle. This is a built-in emergency failsafe. Loss of air equals automatic braking. Let's move on. What are spring brakes? Emergency and parking brakes held back by air pressure that apply when pressure is lost. They are always ready as a backup system. They activate automatically during failure. Next question. How does a driver release the spring brakes to move the vehicle? By building sufficient air pressure above the release threshold. Without enough air, the brakes stay applied. You must build pressure before moving. Continuing. What is the purpose of the air storage tanks on a CMV? To store compressed air for multiple brake applications. They provide reserve capacity if the compressor stops. This ensures you can still stop safely. Next point. What must be drained from air tanks regularly and why? Moisture and oil. These contaminants can freeze or damage the system. Regular draining prevents system failure. Let's continue. How often should air tanks be drained in California? Daily or after each trip. Frequent draining keeps the system clean and reliable. Neglect leads to costly and dangerous problems. Next question. What is a one-way check valve in an air brake system? A valve that allows air to flow one direction only. It prevents air from flowing backward between tanks. This preserves pressure in case of a leak. Continuing. What is the safety relief valve in an air brake system? A valve that opens around 150 psi to release excess pressure. It protects the system from overpressure damage. Think of it as a pressure safety backup. Next point. What is the brake pedal also called? The foot valve or treadle valve. It controls how much air is sent to the brakes. More pressure equals stronger braking. Let's move on. What happens when the driver presses the brake pedal? Air flows to brake chambers, pushing components to apply the brakes. This converts air pressure into mechanical force. That force creates friction to stop the vehicle. Next question. What is a brake chamber? A container where air pressure pushes a diaphragm to apply brakes. It's where air energy becomes physical movement. Each wheel has its own chamber. Continuing. What is a slack adjuster? A mechanical arm adjusting for brake wear. It ensures proper brake contact over time. Incorrect adjustment reduces braking efficiency. Next point. What is the S-cam brake and how does it work? An S-shaped cam spreads brake shoes against the drum. It converts rotational motion into outward force. This is the most common drum brake design. Let's continue. What is a disc brake on a CMV? A system where a caliper clamps a rotor. It provides strong and consistent braking. Disc brakes perform better under heat. Next question. What is the dual air brake system and why is it required? Two separate circuits so one can work if the other fails. This redundancy prevents total brake loss. It's a critical safety requirement. Continuing. What is the primary circuit? Controls the rear axle brakes. Rear brakes handle much of the stopping force. This circuit is essential for stability. Next point. What is the secondary circuit? Controls the front axle brakes and sometimes trailer brakes. Front brakes assist with stopping and steering control. Both systems must function together. Let's move on. What is the air brake application test during pre-trip? Pressure loss should not exceed 3 psi per minute with brakes off. This checks for leaks in the system. Leaks must be fixed before driving. Next question. What is the maximum air loss rate with brakes applied for a single vehicle? No more than 3 psi per minute. Higher loss indicates a serious leak. Never operate with excessive air loss. Continuing. What is the maximum air loss rate with brakes applied for a combination vehicle? No more than 6 psi per minute. More components allow slightly higher loss. Still, limits must be respected. Next point. How long should it take to build air from 85 to 100 psi? Within 45 seconds. Slow buildup indicates compressor issues. Proper build time ensures readiness. Let's continue. How long should it take to build air from 50 to 90 psi? Within 3 minutes. This confirms the system can recover from low pressure. Slow recovery is unsafe. Next question. What is the static pressure test? No more than 2 psi loss in 1 minute, single vehicle. This tests system integrity at rest. It's a key leak detection step. Continuing. What is brake fade and how does it occur? Loss of braking from overheated components. Continuous braking creates excessive heat. Heat reduces friction effectiveness. Next point. What is the correct downgrade braking technique? Low gear and short, firm brake applications. This prevents overheating. Controlled braking preserves performance. Let's move on. What is stab braking? Fully applying then releasing brakes repeatedly. Used on vehicles without ABS. It prevents wheel lockup. Next question. What is ABS and how does it affect braking? Prevents wheel lockup and allows steering control. Drivers should apply steady pressure. Do not pump brakes with ABS. Continuing. What does the ABS warning light indicate if it stays on? A system fault requiring service. Normal brakes still function. ABS assistance is lost. Next point. What is the parking brake control? A yellow diamond push-pull knob. Pulling it applies spring brakes. It secures the vehicle when parked. Let's continue. What is the trailer air supply valve also called? The tractor protection valve control. It controls air to the trailer. Essential for safe coupling. Next question. What does pulling out the red knob do? Shuts off air and applies trailer brakes. This protects against trailer runaway. Always use it when uncoupling. Continuing. What are the glad hands and their colors? Connectors. Blue for service, red for emergency. They link tractor and trailer air systems. Correct connection is critical. Next point. What happens if glad hands are crossed? Brakes malfunction and may not work properly. This creates a dangerous situation. Always double-check connections. Let's move on. What is the trailer hand valve used for? Testing trailer brakes only. Using it while driving can cause jackknife. It is not a driving control. Next question. What is the inversion valve? Ensures spring brakes apply during certain failures. It adds redundancy to the system. Safety is built into every layer. Continuing. What is a quick release valve? Releases air quickly to speed brake release. Faster release improves control. It prevents dragging brakes. Next point. What is a relay valve? Speeds brake response using nearby air supply. Important for long vehicles. Reduces delay in braking. Let's continue. What is the limiting valve? Reduces front brake pressure in older systems. Prevents front wheel lockup. Mostly replaced by ABS today. Next question. What causes delayed brake response in long vehicles? Time required for air to travel through lines. Longer vehicles have longer delays. This increases stopping distance. Continuing. What is total stopping distance for a CMV with air brakes? Perception plus reaction plus brake lag plus braking distance. Air brakes add lag time compared to hydraulic systems. Understanding this helps you drive defensively. Next point. What is brake lag distance? Distance traveled before brakes fully apply. Typically about half a second. At highway speed, that distance is significant.